The much-awaited verdict by the Supreme Court on the writs filed against the dissolution of the House of Representatives came yesterday. The apex body has not just reinstated the lower house, but has also paved way for the appointment of Nepali Congress President Sharad Yadav as the Prime Minister. With the landmark verdict, the country's politics is sure to brace eventful days ahead. Good morning, I am Bipashna Tamang and these are the headlines of the hour. The Supreme Court reinstates the dissolved lower house, paving way for the appointment of Nepali Congress President Yadav as the Prime Minister. Opposition leaders welcome the move. Opposition alliance decides to form a small cabinet led by Congress President Sharad Yadav today. South African president calls for people to stand against violence triggered by the jailing of former President Jacob Zuma. Troops deployed in Zuma's home province to curb violence. An Olympic host city, Tokyo enters a new state of emergency less than 2 weeks before the Games begin, amid worries about whether it can stem a rise in COVID-19 cases. The Supreme Court, in response to the writ petitions filed against the dissolution of the House of Representatives, issued a mandamus yesterday, paving way for the appointment of Nepali Congress President Sharad Yadav as the Prime Minister. The Constitutional Bench of the Apex Court issued an order to reinstate the dissolved House of Representatives and to appoint Nepali Congress President Yadav as the Prime Minister within 2 days' time. The Constitutional Bench, comprised of Chief Justice Cholendra Shamsher, Deepak Kumar Karki, Meera Khadka and Ishwar Prasad Khatioda, revoked the President's decision to reject the claim for premiership filed by Nepali Congress President Yadav, terming it unconstitutional. Yadav had staked his claim for the post with the support of 146 lawmakers. Justice Ishwar Prasad Khatioda read out the verdict that stated the dissolution of the House of Representatives was not in accordance with the subsections 5 and 7 of Article 76 of the Constitution. The bench rejected the government's decision to dissolve the lower house, saying that it was not taken according to the Apex Court previous explanation of 23rd of February. The bench has directed the government to summon the meeting of the House of Representatives within 7 days. President Bidya Devi Bhandari dissolved the House of Representatives at the recommendation of the Cabinet on 22nd of May. The President had also rejected the claim for premiership by Nepali Congress President Yadav, citing lack of adequate grounds despite 26 lawmakers of the disgruntled faction of CPN-UML signing a petition to appoint Yadav as the Prime Minister. 146 lawmakers, including Nepali Congress President Yadav, had reached the Apex Court to file the writ petition against the dissolution of the lower house. The bench also clarified that parties cannot issue a whip to its lawmakers while electing the Prime Minister in accordance to Article 76(5) and added that a party cannot take action against its lawmakers for signing petition to appoint the Prime Minister from another party. This is the second time the Apex Court has annulled the dissolution of the lower house. Earlier on 23rd of February, the Supreme Court had scrapped the government's decision to dissolve the lower house, terming it as unconstitutional move. Meanwhile, Nepali Congress President Sharad Yadav has called the Supreme Court's decision a victory for democracy. Speaking with Kantipur Television immediately after the Apex Court's verdict, Yadav claimed the judiciary proved it was free and fair. Yadav added the verdict had done a just treatment to democracy. The main opposition president will now hold meeting with the opposition alliance for a new government formation. Earlier yesterday evening, we had a conversation with Dr. Naren Khadka from Nepali Congress. We had asked him what What would the priorities of the party be now that they get to head the government? What the leadership's dynamics with the president be, and whether the new prime minister be able to muster the required number of confidence vote at the parliament? Here are some excerpts.
Today, the Supreme Court has given the right verdict. It's very gratifying to all of us who are for the rule of law, for constitutionalism, for parliamentary values and democratic principles. We're all happy to know that a very good and historical decision has been taken by the Supreme Court. Two major issues that have to be addressed by the new government that will form tomorrow. One is to procure COVID-19 vaccine as many as possible to protect the lives of the Nepali people. And also, this is the time of monsoon, heavy flood, and the damages have been caused by landslide and a flood. So we have to protect the lives and the property of the people who have been affected by the floods and the landslide. So the government also has to take adequate action for the protection of the lives and property of the people. But then there are other issues. For example, the security of the country is vital. Of course, there are no big security issues at the moment, but also the issues of the petroleum prices, which have really showed up in the past couple of weeks, that has to be addressed in the larger interest of the public of Nepal. So we have to show the Nepali people and the world that constitutionalism is restored, democratic values are restored, and the country is right on track. And then never again such disastrous unconstitutional move will be made by any prime minister in the future. So that also has to be guaranteed by this government. To issue a mandamus in the name of the president to appoint Mr. Deuba as the next prime minister is a serious blow. It is also a message to the president that, look, we can't trust you anymore. I think from now on, everything will be guided by the articles and sub-articles of the Constitution. Neither the Prime Minister nor the President will violate the basic premises of the Constitution, both in spirit and in words. So I think the President is now forced, or rather bound, to rule by the Constitution. And I hope that a good atmosphere or environment of cooperation from the president will prevail. So I think we have to see how the faction led by Mr. Madhav Nepal will prevail in the days ahead. But I do hope that when Mr. Madhav Nepal and his faction have supported have rather welcomed the decision of the Supreme Court, I think they might support the vote of confidence in the House of the Parliament, in the House of the Representatives. If vote of confidence is not passed in the House, then of course the next move will be that the president has to dissolve and call for a snap poll, just like Mr. Oli did. But this is if the move is done by Mr. Deuba when he is not able to obtain the vote of confidence, it is proper, it is procedural, it will be constitutional. So I don't think anybody will challenge in the court.
The opposition alliance, including Nepali Congress, has decided to form a small cabinet to be led by Nepali Congress President Sharad Yadav today. The decision was taken by the meeting of the opposition alliance that includes Nepali Congress, CPN Maoist Center, Janata Samajwadi Party and Rashtriya Jana Morcha. The meeting held yesterday evening was also attended by senior leader of CPN-UML Madhav Kumar Nepal. The meeting has decided to make an effort to form a national consensus government, saying that the country is currently in a grave situation. Leaders of CPN-UML, however, informed that the party leadership will finalize whether to be part of the new government, citing that the inter-party issues have been solved. Welcome back. The U.S. government has handed over more than 1.5 million vaccines against COVID-19 yesterday. The received vaccines will be rolled out to the public from today itself. Nepal received 1.53 million vaccines from Johnson & Johnson under the COVAX scheme. The vaccines arrived the capital yesterday morning. Manufacturers of the vaccine have claimed a single shot of the vaccine is adequate to help build immunity against the deadly virus. The Health Ministry informed that the vaccines will be given to individuals of a risk group based on priority, including differently abled people and refugees residing in Nepal, and also people aged between 50 and 54 years old. The Health Ministry also informed that people aged above 55 years will receive varicella vaccines from today. University professors and staffs, drivers and assistants of public vehicles, and those involved in emergency services and missed in the previous rounds will be eligible for this vaccine. Meanwhile, the Chinese government has pledged for more support to Nepal with vaccines against COVID-19. Speaking at a virtual interaction program to mark 100th anniversary of Communist Party of China, China's ambassador to Nepal, Hao Yanchi, said that China will continue to Nepal with its vaccination campaign. Kantipur Television has entered its 19th year of broadcasting from today. The television that started broadcasting with terrestrial technology in the Kathmandu Valley and its surrounding districts in the initial days now has spread its broadcasting to 165 countries through satellite technology and worldwide through the internet. Moreover, Kantipur Television has been able to establish itself as a popular and trustworthy television channel among the Nepali people. Kantipur Television had started its official broadcast from 13th of July 2003 and is now broadcasting through high-definition technology. Kantipur Television Network has also launched a different channel, Kantipur Cineplex, that is focused on airing Nepali films. Kantipur Television has also broadcasted numerous social and political events of the country since 18 years. Kantipur Television has never forgotten their responsibility to warn the ruling body and speak the public's voice. The television, which has the capability of broadcasting live reportings from all the 77 districts, has been broadcasting Nepali and English news bulletins. Pradesh Samachar, Fireside, Sarokar, Good Morning Nepal, It's My Show, What the Flop, Comedy Champion, Call Kantipur, Dr. Kantipur, among other popular programs. Kantipur Television commits to bringing more popular programs to increase its popularity and trust among the Nepali people. In our Public Voice segment, we had asked the local representatives in Arghakhachi district what is the reason for the failure to properly implement budgets. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
Public Voice.
अहिले पनि अब काम गर्दै करम छ तर त्यसमा पनि अलिकति अब समस्याहरू आएको छ
जनप्रतिनिधिहरूको टिम छ हामीसँग चाहिँ अलिकति यसको प्राविधिक नलेज नहुँदाखेरि त्यसलाई प्राविधिक हिसाबले कस्तो हो त्यसको एस्टिमेट बमोजिम भनेर आफै आइडेन्टिफाई गर्ने र त्यसलाई चाहिँ पहिचान गर्ने र त्यसका समस्या कहाँ हुन् त्यो खालको समस्या रहेको देखिन्छ।
योजना कार्यान्वयनमा अब विभिन्न समस्याहरू देखिने गर्छ। अब जस्तै उपभोक्ता समितिहरू अब समयमै त्यहाँ उपस्थित नहुने, सबैजनाको सहकार्यहरू नहुने।
Time now for our segment Public Polls, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Polls.
And here's the question: what should be done to make the vaccination campaign more effective? The options are: option A, make supply mechanism active; option B, focus on raising vaccine awareness; and option C, focus on import. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. And that's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Have a great day ahead.